It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. Today's Ag Spotlight episode is sponsored by Coolers. Make every day a cool day for your cows. The Coolers system allows you to control the cow's environment 24/7. For more information, go to NorthAmericanAg.com and find them in the Industry Connect section. Hi, and welcome to the North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with the president and founder of FarmTank and AgSwag. He's devoted to connecting Wall Street with agriculture, and he grew up in a small farm community outside of Kansas City, Missouri. I'd like to welcome Jordan Van Trump. Welcome, Jordan, and thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. What's happening, guys?
So what's your background? How did you, what brought you to this place?
Well, I guess don't have a huge long story. I'm only 25, so played baseball growing up. Pretty good ball player. Got a scholarship to Kansas State University. I was going to go play there, and then decided I didn't want to play in college, and I wanted to pursue the more of a scholarship path in college and be a lawyer. So I got into law school at UMKC.
Wow.
And then decided, nah, I'm good. I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. And my dad was just like, well, you can go to school and be a lawyer, or hell, you can try to start your own businesses and whatnot. So I went down the path of worked under him for about 6 months to a year and kind of branched off on my own, started my own businesses and got AgSwag going. I got another company called Van Trump Farms. We do a lot with ag tech startups, helping them get through the farm gate and show their emerging technology. We work with a company called Wozniak. We got on quite a few acres with them. They're biological. Do stuff with Benson Hill's non-GMO soybeans. Working with a new company now called Autonomous Pivot. They do doing like a bunch of AI pivot stuff. It's pretty cool. And then there's another partnership we just formed with Pattern Ag. They're out of California, and they're doing some pretty crazy stuff in the fields to where they take soil samples after harvest in the fall, and they can predict like soybean nematode and whatnot the next growing season. And then I guess my first venture was FarmTank which started as podcast, and I've now got back into the podcast, and we've recently launched a daily newsletter. So that's kind of where I'm at now, but worked on the farm growing up, been around ag basically my whole life and met a lot of great people. So
that's awesome. Yeah, you've got a lot going on for sure. And I'm a FarmTank subscriber and fan. I really love the quick analysis of the market and how you break down what's going on in the world and how the world impacts ag and how ag impacts the world. So I think that's always really interesting, and it's quick bites, so it doesn't take all day to read it too. So can you tell me more about FarmTank and kind of what the purpose is?
Yeah, the purpose is we started it. Well, I guess it got started way back when my dad and a few of his friends started it. And it was, I guess I was still in high school at the time, and it was a spinoff of Shark Tank. They were going to do ag tech investments.
Wow.
Basically the same as Shark Tank, but with ag. Nothing really happened with it. I got out of school and I was ready to run with my own thing. And they're like, hell, I got this farm tank thing if you want to do something with it. And they're like, yeah, do a podcast next week. Just start there. And there I went. I started with
so cool.
Started doing podcasts every week, and we were getting some decent traction, but we were having a tough time monetizing it. And I had the Van Trump Farms thing and Ag Swag going, and I was starting to see some profits on that side. So I scaled back the Farm Tank, and we started getting a lot of other newsletters, and we're like, hell, there's nothing like this in ag. And ag's such a huge part of the world and how the world moves. I mean, our theory is always in life, real estate and agriculture can't really go wrong.
Yeah, that's
everyone
right.
needs to eat and everyone needs shelter. So
yeah, absolutely. Good point.
We've been studying a lot of newsletters lately, and we kind of came up with the theory of connecting agriculture with Wall Street. And we're seeing a huge gap, which is why we used to have the Van Trump conference every year. We recently changed it to FarmCon taglines, reviving rural America. And what we've seen in rural America, we go around and speak through all these small towns and just the businesses that have gone out of business lately and the people that have gotten strung out on drugs. And it's just not good. And a lot of people in the urban areas don't really understand what's happening in the rural areas. And we're seeing the same on the rural side, not understanding what's happening in the urban areas. So I guess Farm Tank kind of started to bridge the gap. Wanted it to be a super fun newsletter, something people look forward to reading, brightens their day, and just short, like 10-minute read. I mean, you can get into it as much as, I guess, probably 30 minutes if you really dug through it, but just something quick hitting, end the day off. And just like you said, just a quick summary to, I guess, keep people in the loop.
Yeah. It's awesome. For anybody that doesn't subscribe, go and do it right now, because it's great. It's a really good hit of information. So, talking about the market a little bit, following along with what's been going on, seeing the supply chain breakdowns happening since last March, can you kind of give like a high level recap of what's happened and what's really important to consider when we look back?
On as far as corn and beans, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the supply chain, I guess, it kind of just went down to the railroads is what we're seeing in a lot of these commodities, just transporting them. Obviously, Brazil's had a horrible year down there, which has played a huge part, but on the drought side of things. But on the supply chain side, it's the railroads. And hell, I see it now with the crazy part is I got the ag swag business, and I can't get hats or T-shirts or people are like, well, what's the deal? I'm like, well, I mean, we all work in ag. We can't even get corn or beans moved anywhere or lumber moved anywhere. And the problem was when everything shut down with COVID, everything just got way backed up. And then that's where we're seeing the prices with lumber just through the roof right now too. It's all in the supply chain, and all the commodities are going that way because of the supply chain. I mean, weather problems in Brazil are playing a part too, and we're seeing that even with coffee right now hitting highs, 5-year highs.
That article you did on Friday about the coffee was really interesting, and Brazil. I didn't even know Brazil impacted us so much.
Yeah, they're
until this year
growing state. So, but they've based like a lot of their infrastructure around ag, like similar to how China does a lot of manufacturing.
Yeah,
Brazil's done a lot of their infrastructure lately around agriculture and growing. They want to be the number one producing country, I guess, world.
Well, they need some rain.
They're competing with that. They need some rain. So then they're getting. Then a lot of the specialty crops are seeing a lot of issues now too with the droughts out in California. So
yeah, it's crazy. And you just mentioned China as well, and they're the largest importer of ag products. So where are they fitting into not only the market, but also with the supply chain breakdowns that we're seeing?
Well, yeah, they got the barges going on with all that, everything on the boats, and then they just need stuff to feed people is the main thing, and they're getting rid of hogs. And I just saw I'm running it today in Farm Tank. They're actually letting couples have three kids now. So
oh wow,
interesting. So I'm guessing
that is
they came out with that news. So I'm guessing they're probably going to need more food, but they were trying to do the buy from Brazil for the longest time with the import stuff and all that, but Brazil really doesn't have much to buy, so they're forced to buy from us, and that's driving a lot of prices up too. I mean, we saw that last week when we started. We were trended down a little bit, and then we got confirmation on export sales Thursday that China was still buying, and I'm guessing the funds are what's moving the market a lot right now, and they started buying again. I think they just tapered back buying for a while because there just wasn't a whole lot of new headlines.
I see. Yeah. And so with corn and soybean prices so high, I know I've been thinking, farmers are initially going to have more cash. So what do you think they're going to be spending it on?
Who knows with them? I mean, lake houses and boats and planes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're going to be spending on. I don't know if they're going to be trying to expand their operations. Land prices are high. Got a lot of, I think, land prices can continue to shoot up with a lot of this fractional investing we have going on in this space. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow with, it's called Farm Together. There's a few other platforms like it, like Acre Trader. They do a lot of it. They've been around a while. I'm good friends with them. They're down in Fayetteville. But this Farmland Finder's got a lot of money behind them. They're out of California, and they're basically bringing, we've seen it happen in collectibles, and like people buy, I do a lot of it now with like sports cards, like the $5 million sports cards. You can put like $500 in it and just get shares like stock.
Wow, that's crazy.
They're doing the same with farmland. And I'm assuming once it starts to get popular, similar to these sports cards, this fractional stuff drove the price of these sports cards up because everyday investors or just typical normal people can throw $500 at it, and you got $500 with 500 investors. I mean, the price is just obviously going to go through the roof. And I think it's, and then these like Acre Trader and Farm Together, they're advertising in all these like Ritz-Holtz Management, like a lot of these Wall Street, New York money type newsletters. And I'm assuming these people are going to start investing in farmland because all they got to do is send $5,000 in, and they got ownership of this land. They may never get to see the land. They do nothing with the land.
Wow.
Because the platforms pay to take care of all that stuff. And so I'd imagine prices go up with that, but I don't know what farmers are going to do. I'd assume maybe just try, they're going to have a lot more margins to try new technology.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
That's going to be a plus, I think. Try different seeds, try different biologicals, a lot of new stuff in the marketplace. So, I mean, we see that was a big problem we had when prices were just so low. The margins just weren't there to try a lot of that stuff. And I don't encourage any means by a lot of producers to have tons of technology on the farm because there's only so much you can do. And I mean, the name of the game is maximize profitability. Yeah. And if you got 20 different technologies coming in and you're only getting $1 per acre and you could cut some of that back and make double that, I don't see why you wouldn't. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. At first I was thinking it was going to be heavy equipment, but I was talking to somebody at Ag Direct a few months ago, and he talked about the shortage of new equipment because of the whole supply chain, cropping out. And then after that led to the clearing out of all the used equipment too.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. The, AI and different seeds that, you could be dead on there.
Yeah, with like Benson Hill doing a lot of stuff. Like they're going public here pretty soon via SPAC, and we sell a lot of their non-GMO soybeans. And I think they believe they create the actual seed itself and the hybrid itself for all these seed companies. So,
wow.
But I think they believe moving forward, the farmer is going to be, each individual farmer is going to have a specific seed. Like instead of like, this is what you get to pick from over at Vex, like this certain seed varieties. It's like, no, like the seed company itself is going to develop a seed for your specific farm.
Wow. That's cool.
Like, yeah, instead of like picking from these 4 seeds, it's like, no, like I have this seed because I'm growing it for McDonald's and they want it for this. Like that's how it's probably going to go down. You're obviously going to have your number 2 yellow corn guys, but I think that divide's going to continuously start to split. And we're seeing it a lot more in the space. Like people growing, like we work with Chipotle, helping them get some acres for rice.
Mm-hmm.
And Chipotle is like, no, this is the rice you're growing. It's not like
really
rice and sell it to us. No, it's like, no, you're selling this seed, that you're this specific strand of rice for us, or don't grow the rice. They're obviously paying huge premiums, but that's just how it's going down.
Wow.
Or even you can take it, it's going to work that way. Or we got a lot of farmers that kind of have like their own specific strands like that. And they're selling that direct to the marketplace, but that's how they market. That's how it's like getting a one up. I mean, with a marketing background. So
that's cool. So with high corn and soybeans, that's awesome. But that's also obviously a rise in feed prices. So what are you seeing with livestock then, with livestock prices because of that?
Well, I mean, cattle's not seeing as much action, but hell, hogs have hit 52-week highs 2 weeks in a row now. So, I mean, I don't see a huge issue with it, but I mean, the cattle side, I think could see a little bit of a hit, but it's the same with input prices on the corn and soybean side. I mean, if they were locking that stuff in when they should have been last year and executing the opportunities, then they should be in decent shape right now. I mean, moving forward, I mean, if they got enough to get them through this year, then stay patient. It's my thought. And wait for prices to maybe go down a little bit. I mean, you can probably start. I mean, obviously, I think there's room for it to run to the upside with weather, still weather concerns here in the U.S. But I mean, you can shed a little bit of risk off the board. But yeah, I mean, that side of things is just staying on top of it on the input side. Similar to, I mean, a lot of these producers now, I mean, on the Van Trump report side of things, we're all about risk management. And hell, I mean, yeah, we left a lot of money on the table, but I mean, a lot of these farmers just ran into a lot of this money because they don't reduce risk as the season goes on.
Yeah.
I guess that's lucky in a way, but that's how they do it every year though, for a lot of guys. But I mean, it comes down to execution and having a plan. And I think people on the hog side will be in fairly good shape just because prices are so high for hogs right now. But I think
what do you think is going to happen with the hog processing line issue? Do you think it's actually going to get slowed down, or what do you think is going to happen there?
I'll be honest, I don't know much on that front. I don't have a lot of information on that front, but
I could see that having obviously a big impact on prices if obviously supply's low, right?
But I don't know if it's going to happen, not happen. I don't know a whole lot of people on the hog supply chain side of things.
Right. Yeah.
I don't get a lot of that info. So I guess I'm just kind of more into the markets itself and the way the prices are moving with the hogs.
Yeah. And so in your opinion, where are we going? So where is this market all, look into your crystal ball for us. What do you think is going to happen? Like 12 months? What are you thinking?
I mean, if I knew, I'd probably just be chilling on the beach right now and not be on this podcast. I'd just be trading the market.
Yeah.
I think we probably continue to push higher. I mean, why not? I mean, as it looks now, I mean, with the cards unfolding, I mean, I think there are just a few more cards to show on the weather side of things with the grains. And I think we could push the all-time highs.
Wow. You think so?
I think so. Especially with the stuff happening in Brazil right now and all the supply chain issues. I don't see that getting resolved anytime soon. Doesn't seem like so. I mean, it's just going to come down to people executing when prices are high. And I mean, we're going to have these swings because the funds are pushing a lot of this stuff. And it's a sexy story right now for them. I mean, you don't see these stories very often in commodities.
Yeah.
They're going to swing these things around. I mean, right. I mean, today, I think corn last time I looked, we were about limit up on corn. Soybeans were up 40 cents today. Wheat was up close to 40 cents today. I mean, we're seeing these massive swings. And I think one day I put in there, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I mean, a lot of these producers are seeing over $1 million swings in one day, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And, one day you wake up, you're up $1 million. The next day, your limit down, you're down $1 million.
Wow.
We were working with some guys the other day, and we told them to make some wheat sales, and they called us back a couple weeks later, and they're like, "Hey, the guy never put the sales in for us," and it ended up being like, it only was a couple weeks later, but I think they missed out on like $150,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what do you think though, on the other hand, how's this going to affect the end user? Like what's going to happen with consumers? If everything's keep just rising, what's going to happen?
Same thing with inflation, with everything happening right now. I mean, I see it even happening on as little as like the ag swag side of things. I mean, I got a couple bills from my guys. I got some really cool leather patch hats I do that are made with real leather. And my invoices were a lot higher. I noticed. I'm like, hey, when did you guys start rising prices? And they're like, geez, man, like we're over here like pulling teeth to get leather right now, and prices are shooting up. So, I mean, we got
even leather. Huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even leather's higher. A lot of the things I buy on that side of things are higher just because like the polos, because of cotton. And I mean, you see it in the grocery stores now, even with like chicken. Chicken is like crazy expensive right now for what's been. And I see ground beef prices even moving up. And I think it just continues to move up. It's all supply and demand at that point. I mean, how bad do you want it? Who wants to pay for it?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, good point for sure. So where can people find you and subscribe to Farm Tank?
They can just go to farmtank.com. We got a Twitter. We got a decent amount of following on Twitter. We do, I think a lot of people we do a tweet of the day in the Van Trump report, and like feature just random people that got funny tweets out there, cool tweets.
Nice.
And we shout them back out on Twitter.
Yeah.
People follow that. But yeah, just farmtank.com, and there's a little name at the top. Just put your name and email in, and you're good to go. Signed up, and you'll start getting emails daily, podcasts, all that fun stuff.
That's great. So I have one last question for you. What fires you up? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
I don't know. I'm a big just goer. I just like to go and get stuff done. I just got done with, I guess not too long ago, but started 75 Hard at the beginning of the new year. And it's a program. You work out 2 times a day, follow a diet, can't have any cheat meals, can't drink any. What else is there? You got to read a certain amount a day.
Wow.
A certain amount a day. Yeah. Like it's like, I was basically up at like 6 and full bore, ready to go till about 10 o'clock at night. Just totally busy. Yep. Weekends, everything.
Wow. And what is that called again?
It's called 75 Hard, but I guess I kind of got, what makes me go is I think I got a small case of ADHD, and I can't sit still very long. So
yeah. Oh, I hear you.
Always doing something.
Yeah. That's good. Keeps life interesting, right?
Yeah. Similar to a lot of the farmers I work with. And they're always getting their hands into something and starting new businesses. And I don't know. I guess I like, what gets me going is I chase the journey, I guess, more than anything. I kind of just like the process of building stuff out and seeing what happens, helping people out. So,
yeah, that's great. So thank you so much for joining me. There's just so much happening in the world right now. So I really appreciate the analysis and, the analysis on Farm Tank every day. And thanks to everyone else who's watching or listening. If you want more information, all the links are provided in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on YouTube. And podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts. So make sure you subscribe. And thanks so much.
Yep. Appreciate it. Call me if you ever need anything.
All right. Have a great day.
Yep. See ya. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to today's Ag Spotlight episode, where we put the spotlight on people and companies doing great things for the agricultural industry. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or on your favorite podcasting platform, and give us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on YouTube and Rumble to see the video version of Ag Spotlight. Also, head on over to NorthAmericanAg.com to subscribe to our Industry Connect update newsletter. If you're interested in advertising opportunities, email us at connect@NorthAmericanAg.com. Thanks for listening.